Don't write any new measure in DAX before you see this video. With the new visual calculations, you'll be turning your measures to another level. So stay with me until the end of this video and find out how to do it. So what's the beauty about visual calculations? The visual calculations allow us to do normally simple logic calculations turned in simple measures. Because in DAX, there's some things that we do in our daily basis that are very basic to calculate, but the way we must create the measure in DAX is very complex. Gonna give you one example. If we want to calculate the delta between the current date and the previous date, that is, subtract the value in 2 of April by the value in 1 of April and so on. It's something that in Excel, it's very simple to do. In DAX, it's not that much. It's possible, but the logic behind it, it's very tricky and highly complex. I already created the measure so you can see it, that I call it total internet sales delta. I'm gonna put it here. And as you can see it's subtracting this 21,000 by 16,000 and it's returning 4,000. Okay, and it's doing the same thing to every value here. What is the measure? It's this one. Okay, what we need to do, we need to first create a variable that have all the data in our model from the lowest date to the highest date. After that, we need to see where is the mean value of our context. After that, we need to see what is the previous date in that context. So I need to filter by all the dates that are lower than my current date. After that, I need to check my total sales internet. And after that, I need to check the previous value for my previous date. And then I return. If my current value is blank, I will subtract my current sales by my previous sales. Okay, it's a very large DAX measure. So if you are a beginner, you may have a few difficulties doing that. So how can we do that in a more simple way? We can go here and in the visual that we want the calculation to be created, in our case this table, we're gonna click in more options and new visual calculation. Here we have lots of options, and one of it is versus previous. Okay, when we create that, it will open this field here. That is a measure in DAX that only function here in this visual. It won't be reusable in other visuals. It's a different kind of DAX. Okay, so we're gonna select here in the field the measure that we want to use, the field that we want to use to do this calculation. In our case, it's total internet sales, total sales internet, and the same here, and hit enter. Here it is. It's the exactly same value that this one, but with a much more simple approach. Okay, this is a good approach to use when you have a high complex measure and you don't know exactly the way that you want to calculate it, or you already know but the DAX measure is too big and you're only going to use in one specific visual. Okay, now that we created the measure in both different ways, I want to talk to you about the advantage and disadvantage of each case. First of all, let's talk about our measure. I'm a big fan of always do things in measures. Why is that? Because we can use it in other visuals, is more dynamic. It will work alone. You will understand what I'm trying to say here in a moment. And it's more easy to replicate in other visuals. Okay? This one here, the calculated visual, it's only to use in the visual that we are using. It won't work in other visuals. We can replicate it, and it will only work if the value that we are calculating is in the current visual. Okay? Now, let's see what I'm talking about. If I remove total sales internet from my visual, here, just for you to see, when we create a visual calculation, it creates this symbol here in the measure. Okay? So if I remove my total sales internet, it's returning an error because the visual calculation versus previous has a syntax or semantic error. Column total sales internet cannot be found or may not be used in this expression. Okay, so we need to have the real value in the same visual that the visual calculation. On the other hand, our measure will work perfectly fine without the original measure. Okay, so this is the visual calculation. You can choose whenever to use one and whenever to use calculation. Both will work, but you just have to understand your model, understand your goal, and know if you're going to use this calculation only this time, or it will be something that you try to replicate in other visuals, other pages, to choose whether to create a traditional measure or create a visual calculation. So, what do you guys think of today's video? Let me know all in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I see you guys on our next video.